Revival and Reformation, by His Spirit, by Michelle Odinma. Michelle Odinma, MDiv, is a singer-songwriter and the associate pastor at Church of the Advent Hope in Manhattan, New York, United States. Every summer, I said the same thing: this is my last year. But every summer, I found myself strapping on a two-toned canvassing bag, loading up Christian books, and trying to clip a walkie-talkie to my pocketless, knee-length skirt. This was my routine for 6 summers, selling Christian literature from house to house. Although I dreaded the long summers of discomfort, canvassing was a great ministry, perfect for learning essential life lessons. In fact, it was a blessing. The relationships I developed and the spiritual growth I experienced were all worth it. Not to mention, I was pretty good at it. I prided myself in using my persuasion skills to convince people that the word carried in the books was worth knowing. That was until my 3rd summer. A big booker. This time I had returned as a big booker, meaning now I was taking on the challenge to sell larger, pricier books instead of the smaller books I used to offer. I knew it was the space God wanted me in. God had proved himself. With 2 summers under my belt, I figured offering the more expensive literature would be no different. Was I ever wrong? Things started out promising, but I was disheartened, tired and lacking confidence by week 5. I had not sold a single set all month. What was wrong with me? I was good at this, right? I did my Michelle routine that typically worked like a charm. Smile, be friendly, laugh, ask good questions, and share insightful information about the books and life. People seemed receptive, but I left empty-handed every time. It was the middle of the 5th week when it happened. I sluggishly rolled off my air mattress, said my prayers, had a quiet breakfast, and packed a pitiful lunch. I dragged my feet outside to the driveway where my brown 2001 Chevy Malibu sat. Slowly, I turned the key in the ignition and then headed to my location. After several empty homes and 3 rejections, I was tired, beat up, and defeated. I parked my car next to a field of tall corn, pulled out my pitiful lunch, gave thanks, and took a bite. A peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yuck. Quote, "Father, I'm sorry. I can't do this without you. I'm ashamed for even thinking that I could. I give up. Please help me." End quote. Not about you. I laid my head back and closed my eyes, but not before a tear managed to escape. I sat in silence. My thoughts were confused and pessimistic. What am I doing wrong? I honestly don't know what else to do. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, a thought came to me. Maybe it's not about you, Michelle. Ouch. I'd spent the last 5 weeks relying on my human skills to do a very spiritual work. I knew the right words to say. I knew the right books to pull out. But I did not realize that success did not depend on my skills. It depended on the Spirit of God. The whole time, my confidence had been misplaced. I was too confident in myself, not in God. I finished my lunch, cried some more, and said a final prayer. Father, I'm sorry. I can't do this without you. I'm ashamed for even thinking that I could. I give up. Please help me. The day ended better than I could have imagined. I did my same Michelle routine, but this time was different. I knew that my speech was not what convinced people. I knew it was God. The evening finished in a whirlwind, with my first 4 sets of books going out. I look back and no longer have questions about why I went back to this ministry and did it for 6 summers. I returned because life lessons like these, taught by the hand of God, are priceless. Whenever I am tempted to forget, the Lord reminds me that success in His work is, quote, not by might nor by power, but by His Spirit, end quote. For bibliographical and biblical references on this article, and for much more content for pastors and church leaders, please visit ministrymagazine.org.